What up, cool kids? Welcome to the video. If you're here, I'm gonna be talking about investing in Baltimore City. I'm gonna be going to a neighborhood that I'm from, which we know as Park Heights. Now, to be honest with you, this neighborhood is up and coming, and rightfully so, because historically, if you know about the history of different neighborhoods, this was one of the neighborhoods that started off predominantly white, and then it transitioned to Jewish. A lot of the Jewish people lived there. And then what happened was, after that, to be honest, when it transitioned from white to Jewish, the upkeep of the housing went down. And then from Jewish, then the black people moved there. So within that, when that happened, the property values at that time also plummeted. So now the neighborhood is really up and coming. A lot of investors are headed there, and my guess is, one, it's really close to it's close to a lot of the highways and stuff like that. But also, I'm gonna show you guys as I'm driving now. These houses are really good, and they are what we call in the trenches, aka the hood. Give me a second. All right, we back. I couldn't whatchamacallit, but if you see these properties right here, she got to flip over. But these style properties, single family homes, these properties are really working out for us well. And when I say that, I mean the spreads are a lot larger, of course, because they're single family residences. And for some reason, right, the homes are really big. I have a friend that works in the city, and he said that a lot of people in Baltimore, actually a lot of the councilmen and stuff like that, people that work for the city, want to figure out, hey, how the heck these property houses like that, how the heck is certain neighborhoods demanding certain prices? And it's primarily due to, one, the houses are really nice, and then because Baltimore used to be really segregated back in the day, 50s and stuff like that, they created pockets, right? And if you're not familiar with Baltimore, then you won't understand the pockets within Baltimore and where to look for the gold. So what I'm going to do is show you guys some of the pockets. I'm going to name out a couple streets. Of course, if you can remember, rewind this video, take down the streets. I recommend, if you want to look for properties in Baltimore, and I recommend you check out Garrison Boulevard and Bell Avenue. Start there. Those properties are really big, and they are demanding top dollar when they are rehab. So there's a large population. A lot of people are aging out, so 70, 80, and if the property is a nice size, a lot of the heirs don't want the property, right? So they're looking to sell. But the place we're headed to now, like I said, is Park Heights. And in Park Heights, I like to say that it's a rental area, but once things are flipped and they actually get the properties looking right, it's an area that will demand a nice dollar. I think once a lot of the rehabbers come in and do the things that they do, and a lot of the buy and hold investors come in, pretty soon the property value will go up. I don't know if it'll demand 150 or 120 or whatever they need to do the BRRRR strategy, but it will go up. So I'm going to pause this video, and then what I'm going to do is show you guys what I look for as we're cruising through Park Heights. Alright guys, so I'm going to show you out the window. As you can see, a lot of these houses actually look the same, which is a good thing. So you see this property right here, it's really in bad condition. I think it's 4004 Garrison Avenue. So we got one at 4,004. We got one at 3920. And these are a lot of the properties that you want to look for. Garrison Avenue is one of the spots in Park Heights. So as you're going throughout, as I'm driving for Dallas, what I typically use is Dale Machine, but because I'm recording on my phone, what I'll do is write down the street, and then I'll write down the addresses, right? So something like this, if you can see it, it's really scribbly. Boom. All right, so I'll write down the street and then write down the addresses. If I use Dale Machine, I'll typically put it in. But because I'm with you guys today, I will continue to write down the addresses. So, and by all means, kind of got this thing all crooked. By all means, if you hear me shout out an address and you want it, take it, bro. I think that I believe in abundance. We all can eat. You can't steal what's mine, right? And I can't steal what's yours. So here's a property right here, 3812. Not sure if y'all can see that. 3812. Right, see how the roof on that property is crappy? You write that property down. The roof looks crappy, but it looks like somebody might be in there. It might be a buy, hold investor, or might be an owner that can't necessarily take care of the property. So we're gonna drop down 3812 on the paper there. Here's another one right here. You see it? I think that's that type of property. You gotta look for that too. It's a lot of nosy neighbors. They're gonna wonder what you're doing. Just wave at them. But so we got 3812. I didn't even get that one. Here's another property right here. You might get beeped at, but it's cool. Let's see. This property is 36615, 3619. Right, 3619. 3812. All right, if you can kind of see this property, let's see right here. So that property is littered with overgrowth. So in Baltimore, a lot of our properties, we have a lot of like vine growth and stuff like that, which can be a pain in the butt, but it is a sign that most of the time the homeowner can't take care of the property. So you just jot it down, make note of it. And it's really good to know your area, to know what you can pay for, what investors are buying. And the reason I said that is because you want to be able to make an informed decision, right? You want to be able to pull the trigger fast. I look at this job as like a duel, you know. You see this property right here, look. So you look at this one, I think that is 3520. So what I'll typically do is write down 3520. 20. I'll write that down because that person right there that purchased that property, they're a cash buyer, right? And they brought that property from the auction, which is perfect for us, right? A lot of people don't realize that when you see those sold signs, those people are typically rehabbers, and they're looking for more properties in the area. So you want to be an asset to them, and you become an asset to them by saying, hey, I noticed that you purchased this property in this area. I also have another property with similar condition, and I noticed that you purchased this property for, let's say, $20,000. Well, hey, I can get you another property, and it might be $17,000, or you might get them a property that's in better condition, and you might say, hey, you pay a little bit more, but the property is in better condition, and also you can't get this property from an auction or on the market, right? So it's a great way to build up your cash buys and network in this business. Networking is everything. A lot of people just talk about, hey, I want the money, and the money is great. But you won't get the money continuously if you don't network. So I'm actually going to put a brief pause on the video and be right back to you guys so I can show you some more properties in Baltimore, what to look for. And once again, we are in Park Heights, just kind of cruising around Park Heights. I'm actually show you a whole block that's freaking dilapidated. So one second. All right, guys, back at you like I never left. So this here is Park Heights in Woodland. I grew up in this neighborhood. It actually looked a lot different than what it looks now. So you literally can see this whole block needs to be restored. A lot of the roofs are gone from these properties. Looks like they started this one, but literally something like this you would have to tear down all these properties pretty much. Probably start from scratch, right? You can't just take one. Nobody's gonna want to live on a block. If you look right across the street, this is the other side of the street. This whole block is done. So most of these properties, I can guarantee you that somebody is living in them. And when I say somebody, most of the time it's someone that's using some drug. A lot of drug users come in the properties, and then they will make it their home, right? Here's a property. If you look at it, if you look closely, I wouldn't live in there, but you can tell that somebody is living in there, and they've took hold to it, and it's free living. See, a lot of these properties here, somebody's living there. So these type of properties here, if you're a wholesaler, I wouldn't touch them. I would not touch them, because this whole block is really, really bad, and most investors are not going to touch it because they're waiting for other investors to make that move first, and then once those investors make that move, then they'll make the move. So these are the type of properties that aren't really, really worth your time. If an investor had came and brought half the block and started restoring the block, then I would actually look into acquiring some of those properties. But for the most part, it's not really a good use of your time. So like I said early in the video, if you want to get started investing in Baltimore, I recommend you check out what was that, Garrison and Bell Avenue. Start there. A lot of the properties there are really, really big. They're going for $250, $225. Probably some of them actually going for more. So, but this is, like I said, the historic Park Heights. Here's a couple of other properties, single family residences like these properties right here. As you can see, the one to my left, the one that looks like somebody actually lives there, that would be a good property to get. The one to the right would be, it's crazy, I used to actually get frozen cups from there, but that property wouldn't be bad if you can get it for a good number. And then you can also see this property over here to the right has really, really good upkeep. So if you can get this middle property, pretty sure for the right number, the right investor probably will come in and look to actually rehab it. So hey guys, if there's anything else I can do for you, drop it in the comments. If you're in Baltimore, you want to link up, you want to do anything dealing with real estate investment, let me know. My goal is to provide as much value as possible. So talk to you guys soon.